up a seat at the bar to join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tansenn, Jess, and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.
Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 18.9, Room Unread, where we are covering the novel White Knight. My name is Tansenn, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello.
And Jess.
Libertine. A person who is unrestrained by convention or morality. Jessica. How dare you?
Chapter 17. Harry calls on Ramirez to find out what he knows about the current situation with the White Court and Elaine. He explains to Molly about his own past being under the Doom of Damocles.
I know we'll get to that momentarily, but that's also kind of funny because it's like we've heard the story in like every single book. It's like, what do you mean Molly doesn't know?
I know. Right?
How does she not know at this point? Still semi-baby Ramirez. That's still back in the day when he's relatively new. All these people that we're just meeting for the first few, again, having just done 12 months. And just the recap of, where we are at that point and jumping back, right? Just very, as opposed to sort of just, I know it's there, but I haven't looked ahead in a long time.
Butcher really likes to pick rough neighborhoods. So he picks Cabrini Green as an often recurring
Greenwich Village?
Greenwich Village.
Cambridge?
That
would be a much different experience.
That's the UK version of
Greenland?
Green, okay?
But he picks East LA for Ramirez's sort of home turf. And I know from experience it can kind of scary there.
It makes sense. I mean, again, much like Harry, we know that, like, wardens and wizards don't, unless you're, smart and deaf. But otherwise, they're not living, so, it's not like they're going to be living in the Beverly Hills mansions, and obviously, I don't know, because of, or in spite of, or it just coincides with, he's got the fighting skills and stuff. He's no stranger to, so, maybe he's like, yeah,
the skills.
Yeah, kind of like the alphas. So, like, we just hang out. They were university students, but they just still kind of stay
easier
in
to
patrol
get away
that
with
area.
things if there's not a regularly patrolled police presence.
That too, as our car conversation from a couple of books ago, it's like everybody's in bed, nobody's coming through here, nobody's going to see what we're doing. Like, there's too many people watching and neighborhood patrols and right? So it's like
all those Facebook groups. There was a gray sedan parked outside all night long.
Hey,
who does it belong to?
It was a green fleck of paint. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but it was transferred from a green car.
Yeah, so it was a green sedan.
No, it was a gray sedan that hit a green car.
It's a gray club in a green car, okay? It's not a gray car. And
we call those people Nosy Norma.
Yeah, exactly.
The Nosy Norma who is like peeking through the blinds in everybody's business. I actually don't mind when there's a Nosy Norma in the neighborhood because of that.
Yeah, if they're on your side,
yeah.
I just remember as a kid growing up, people being like, there's a curfew, right? Shut the fuck up. Go to bed.
Wait, when were you running around that people were yelling at you for a curfew?
When I was a kid.
All the things we're finding out now. Wait, what? You were gone for 3 days?
In my defense, I didn't hide anything. I would just leave. You guys didn't care. That's not on me. People just don't care where I am. That's works for me.
Okay, that's not quite right.
Okay,
I'm assuming you guys went
gone.
for your walk. Okay, but they weren't at like 3 a.m, kind of a thing. Those ones I didn't know about if they happened because I wasn't sure.
You missed family dinner.
They're basically just going back over sort of this White Court stuff that we've kind of been here for the whole time. We know that Wraith is a fucking loser, and we know that the Whites all like to fucking backstab each other and look for any possible sign of contention and backstabbing and contrariness that they possibly can find and use.
Contrary?
contrary. A very libertine approach.
They do come to an interesting conclusion. So yes, again, Carlos doesn't seem to have particularly connected the dots, but yeah, they found out that there have been some, these killings and stuff started in around these other areas. And then again, getting the info update, which is kind of, I guess Dresden only found out about it by accident, sort of, but it's still just vaguely that, again, if they put together that they're always seen accompanied by like these warden-looking characters, that none of this had filtered back to Ramirez. Again, Ramirez is part of the young, hipper generation, right? I'm sure he's got his contacts and his, maybe not quite the same way Harry is set up or whatever, but it's just mildly interesting that this is the first kind of that he's hearing of that connection at all. And yeah, he's like, because
well, Ramirez isn't the private detective, okay? Harry.
There is that too.
It's just not on the payroll.
But considering, yes, that he is the regional commander for, you would think he would have some kind of a...
You'd think, and this is Harry's problem with it.
But yes, anyways, it instantly sort of says that the wardens are being framed. Somebody is setting us up to, right, and the same problems that Harry is they're not coming to the wardens if they think the wardens are the ones doing it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Being on the level with Ramirez. Oh my gosh, kind of. Now Elaine Mallory.
I have a whole section of notes here going, what the fuck?
What the fuck? What the fuck? Which is your first what the fuck?
Well, so they do know about her, so she is on the radar.
So only recently. They didn't know about her until she went and...
stuck her name in the phone book.
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially, yeah. Until she went and started, acting. When she was hiding with the summer court, nobody knew about her. But now that she wants to be a public figure. And for the last couple
of years since we've seen her, not too much, because she did say she kind of lay low for a little while and then took a couple of years. So,
yeah.
But wouldn't that be suspicious in itself that she just randomly comes out as being a wizard detective, at that too?
Yes, which is why Ramirez
she can fake
went and
that
tested
she's
her.
I guess she can fake that being shittier at magic than she is. But wouldn't he be like, where the fuck have you been the first 25 years of...
But again,
you're not reported anywhere.
We have commented, this is the problem, right? That they're like, we'd just rather go around and slaughter them because we can't find them.
And also, she's quite young. Harry having a career at 20 is pretty rare, Now that she's only approaching 30 now, okay, maybe now she's kind of decided what she wants to do with her life. Maybe before now she was doing a more kitchen witch thing, and she's like, how can my talents be better used, and how can I make money off this? I'm tired of working at McDonald's or Walmart. I want,
Yeah.
Potentially. And she's not like a 100-year-old wizard they didn't know about, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, who's been out there doing stuff. And that's the thing, as far as they can tell. Because again, obviously they weren't able to track any of it. I don't know if it's like in the Potter.
If we didn't know about you, you must be weak. We would know about you if you had magic.
Partially that, but like you say, in the wizarding world, right, is they have that underage hex or whatever, so that if an underage wizard does something, they can track it. So it's
in Harry Potter.
In Harry Potter.
Sorry, I thought you meant this. I'm like, no.
If
they had that, we'd have way less problems. What are you talking about?
No. I said in the Potter world. Yeah, in the Wizarding world.
Yeah, you said Wizarding world, but that's not.
Sorry, I whatever. But yeah, whereas, so I feel like in a way, like here, like yes, if they're doing big things or something like that, that it's potentially.
How they find putting yourself on a map, right? Like.
Yeah. But again, if you're under that level, they sort of don't care about you anyways. That was a comparison I was making, but they might not have been able to track her so much while she was in the fairy world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
But Tansenn's saying, but then she just appeared out of nowhere, so isn't that suspicious in and of itself? I'm saying probably not, because they probably thought like maybe almost like the Mortimer, like Mortimer let his talents atrophy and he's only like started to grow it back up again. So maybe Elaine's only just started to really work on it and it's grown a little bit that Ramirez is like, hey, let's test you.
So even if she can fake well enough that she is a kitchen witch, my other what the fuck is that Ramirez can't actually really truly detect somebody's magic through his tests. That worries me that he's a warden and can't do this. Or does this speak to Elaine's really fucking good ability to
It does raise some interesting questions. I think part of it is most people want to get into Mensa. If you've got Mensa, you're going to try your damnedest to reach that bar. You don't want to be super genius and be like, I'm too dumb to get into Mensa, right? So I feel that part of it works in their favor, that nobody tries
Who would throw it?
Who would throw the test? Everybody would rather, because you've got protection, you've got allies, you've got access to magical theory and what, you know what I mean? You can now go schmooze with all the other guys and be like, hey, what tracking spell? Oh man, I've been using this one like this. You're right. Right? Like, I think
So
there's
she's
so
playing
many...
off of biases.
Potentially that could...
Bias is my theme the last 2 episodes. Sorry.
But yeah, that could be part of it, that I feel like there's potential. Now, it does raise a little bit, because you're right, like if we go all the way back to Grave Peril, and he says, when he touched Lydia's hand, Barbara, Lydia, whatever we want to, right, he got a little zap. So that's also interesting, because he's used that before where he can...
He got a zap, but says that she was basically like very low level. So even the low level is giving a zap. And Molly didn't touch Dresden, so he wasn't able to tell that she had it.
Yeah, same thing with Madge. But that's what I'm saying, is that's what's interesting, is because you obviously can get some, because again, he sort of pegged her as a low level and stuff like that, some kind of practitioner, and like, same thing why, other people avoid. So it's interesting, because again, you think, Ramirez could have walked up and shook her hand.
I think that part of the test
like,
would have
whoa,
to be...
she's got more power in there than...
I think soul gaze, right? And that would
really
really
hide anything there, can you?
But again, we know that that's not...
You can't hide anything in there, but it is a metaphor, so how a person reads it is still up for...
But we also know how damaging that is. And we also know that on us, right? Like, again, Ramirez has already had a couple of rough ones here and there. You know that most people aren't as stupid as Harry and just don't do that for everybody. Because, I mean, again, the amount of people, can you imagine if you knew the direct souls of, like, fucking everybody in the council?
We're talking to you, Mal.
Mel Reynolds?
I cannot.
So, yeah.
It's too easy.
So, again, in some ways, I'm like, I could absolutely see her sort of throwing the test, not displaying. But I do find it interesting that, again, that Ramirez didn't have some other way to identify. And because, I mean, again, to a certain degree, like this Korean mass murderer, I'm like, by that point, you don't want to get caught. You'd much rather be able to just say, oh, no, I'm just a little kitchen witch, ha, ha, ha. But obviously the wardens are like, no, dude, you were, like, again, depending on what circumstance.
The black magic, though, leaves a stain different than just having regular magic.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, is like there's all kinds of. So yes, I find that...
But that, furthermore, I would say that I would agree that Elaine does have enough power to be able to hide it well. And that
circumvent the tests.
And also probably some summer influence there, too, of just...
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, but would she have... I mean, she would have learned certain things.
She said she was trained by the summer. Her magic comes from a different place, but she still went with a lot of summer training. So I would say that subterfuge and, hiding is, part of, like, the core of very training magic,
I was going to say, even if we go back to, like, Harry in Death Mask, where he was using, like, his magic suppression spell to suppress his...
Magic.
Yeah, like, who knows, maybe even there's some kind of twist on that where she can exactly, like, somehow pretend that it's damped down, that
he just drank some poison that morning.
Yeah, like, but it is, it's a very, But
like, Harry goes on to say later in this chapter, too, that, kind of Elaine's second to Harry, she's very powerful, too. She's just a little below me, but she makes up for it in finesse. She's very powerful herself. If to be as powerful as Harry and have finesse sounds like, you can throw a competition.
Especially when Harry goes
test.
all the time and he's like, oh, I'm in like the top 10 or 20 wizards on the planet. He's like, oh yeah, Elena's right up there with me.
Exactly, but that's what I mean, is that, but with the finesse. Harry can't throw a test because he has no finesse. He has no patience, subtlety, anger management skills, any of the above. If that's Harry's biggest challenge to staying low-key,
subtlety,
and that's what Elaine has, then I could see. Yeah. But I mean,
I think that makes the most sense.
It's really hard
she has
to hit
that
first place.
To hide.
Really, really hard to purposely get second.
I was gonna say again, it's almost harder sometimes to. Yeah. And again, like you say, because you have to be at a fairly decent level to get count. Like, there's a lot of people that are.
So Annabelle or Joss, Valmont. I fucking hate these people. Jim Butcher, there's a bajillion, zillion, million, trillion names in the world, and you fucking choose between 50 of them over and over and over again.
Anna, or Anna?
Who's the kitchen witch?
In this book?
Yes.
It's Anna Ash.
Thanks.
Not
Miss
Annabelle.
Ash. Miss Ash has probably never been tested for the council ever in her life, okay?
Yeah.
Hellen Beckitt probably never tested ever in her life.
But this is...
Mortimer
they might have come and checked her out after. But this is what's also interesting, because all of this Ordo Levies and this community that they're part of, not even just those in that, they're they're all quite aware of the laws and the wardens so once again, it's very interesting. I'm like, how come all these kitchen witches that can't apply for the council are aware of the council and the rules, yet people with full-on council with potential have no idea, and nobody ever, you know what I mean?
This
like,
is the problem with not having access to technology, okay? Everybody's getting the news in very different ways and different timelines,
I was gonna
okay?
say, right, but it's very, all the have-nots, like, oh, well, we know why we're not allowed in the club, but those that are eligible for the club will be like, I didn't even know I found out about it until I'd broken all the rules.
And honestly, there might be a little bit of, like, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that Ramirez is being more thorough than he normally would be because they're down on numbers, so they're looking for people who have some oomph. Whereas normally they'd just be like in Charity's case, where the warden just comes by and says, don't fuck up or we'll kill you, and then leaves.
Yourselves? Yeah, he didn't sit down and put everyone
But
through
also,
the test.
you know, the kitchen witches variety, like now we're starting to use that as a term for very low level.
Yeah.
They, kind of the point is that they can be as evil as they want. They don't have the magic to do it.
Yeah.
They could be fucking psychopaths who are capable of becoming, but they don't actually have the
To actually
chutzpah to, you know, commit. So it's like, okay, whatever, go to regular
And that
human
is fair.
jail, you're not our problem.
And even in what Tansenn was saying, that she suddenly popped up out of 25 years, you know, and I mean, again, kind of like the point you were making to that is exactly like with more stuff like that. If they're not actually using it or doing anything with it until then again, like you say, maybe not like, okay, she had it, but like I say, she didn't actually nurture
Clearly she
it,
wasn't doing
and
enough to...
Yeah, she could have been fucking Merlin level, but if she wasn't actually aware of it or developing it or anything like that, then exactly, you're like, you're not our problem. Now, as soon as you start doing spells, you know, kind of like...
Which, to me, it makes it seem like Ramirez maybe actually jumped the gun too quick. He should have watched her for a while and then tested her. Mm-hmm. He jumped the gun too quick by being like, oh, your first week on the job, let's do the test. It should have been like, let's see where you are in a year of being on the job. Which, to be fair, he says in this phone call, oh yeah, she like joined an agency and was working with them for a minute. So she has clearly been on the case
Yeah, because in order to be, right,
yes.
we know you have to do your apprenticeship before. So if she's working at all on her own here in Chicago, then yes, she's got to be a little ways into it.
But I like how, again, even still, Ramirez says too, he's like, oh, you better watch out. Like, she's coming in on your turf. She like opened up her own. Don't you think that's weird though? Like, don't you think that would be suspicious of me? But like, a second one is doing it? Or do you think they're just like, Americans?
Yeah.
Because
It's like, well, Harry did it
okay,
now,
Harry's
so.
crazy, but like, okay, now the younger ones are copying him. This isn't a problem. I'd be like, how do you know about that? Who gave you that idea? I just saw it in Chicago on vacation one day. I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one of those things like for us, you don't really think about it. You kind of get the connection and the joke and it's funny, but you're like, oh yeah, kind of like you say from an outside. Like
to me, it would be a red flag for Ramirez to be like, another one?
See?
Really?
Like, yeah.
But at the same time, like, I do totally 100% get that. At the same time, though, I'm like...
How many psychic mediums are in America?
Well, but I was going to say, yeah, like, eventually, like, once the first one is, and one... I mean, obviously, Harry's now getting some notoriety from it. Again, with the younger generation, because that's what Ramirez says basically the first time we meet him in Summer Night or whatever. He's like, the younger ones are noticing, and they're seeing the way that you're not doing everything the way everybody else did before. And we, new generation. We just, with wizards, the generations just change every like 500 years instead of every 20 years. But
this shit
that's the
sucks.
age.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
Yeah. Right. So at the same time, I'm like, well, it is feasible that because even now Harry's been out there for a while. There's like, oh, maybe
that's even
not
more
the
funny.
End of the world,
like the entire senior council, America didn't even exist when they formed, or when they were born,
right? But yeah.
No wonder they're like, shut the fuck up, Dresden. Like, we're older than your country, let alone you.
Right. He even says that in the last chapter that he's like, Chicago's been around even before the United States were the United States, like it's been, but yes, exactly. This relatively, yes.
But like, I just look at the time scale of like, they're all like 500. It's like, oh yeah, right.
But yeah, no, I agree. I always kind of thought that too. I'm like, it is kind of interesting that she only pops up like in another state and all of a sudden
doing the exact same thing in the phone book, but no connection. I've never heard of Harry Dresden in my life.
But also interestingly enough, that for her not to be on that level, for her to be much weaker, but be like, oh, I'm a wizard in the
that guy found keys. I'm finding keys. How hard could it be?
Yeah. Right? Like, I mean, I get it, right? It's like, well, there's no designation. Anybody can call themselves a wizard. So
You get to reset that bar when you go to a new place.
Maybe that's why he tested her so early. He was like, all right, what the fuck? And then he was like, never mind, just a loser, copying you.
But yeah, it's just like, like your emotional support pet or something like that. Like, I think now they're maybe starting to, but for a while there was just like anything and everything. I just call it that. There's no designation.
Like this copycat killer pops up. That'd be a really cool book idea, actually, if there's a copycat wizard just like doing everything Harry does, but evil. Well, like, but anyways, copycat killers are already evil, but like they usually fuck it up worse in like movies and TV shows where that's a thing. Anyways, the point is that just straight up trying to be a copycat, but just, sucks way more, keeps screwing it up, and just like...
The Timu.
So
wizard.
all these black wizards that are trying to do the opposite of Harry, so like Cowl and Gravane and Harry or Victor Sells and the
I'm thinking more like an Incredibles plot line where you like create a buddy to be the whatever his supervillain name was. I don't even know.
Syndrome.
Harry, can I ask you something? Molly is so manipulative. She doesn't come across as manipulative. She comes across as very fair here, but this is exactly what I would do to get my way and my information. I'd be like, seeing as how you keeping secrets from the warden could put my life in jeopardy, shouldn't you tell me all your secrets? And I'd be like, you fucking motherfucker. I would not fold like Harry did. I'd be like, no, bye. I'm the adult, you're the child.
And that gets him so well in every other book where we're like, just fucking tell somebody for once, Harry.
I know, but still, I'm just like, but there's really no reason to keep a secret either.
I mean, whether she does it kind of manipulate, I mean, again, it really very much depends on the tone you read it in kind of a thing. It can be much more manipulative or less so, but... taken sort of at face value, yes, I think she does have a pretty good point on I could get beheaded.
Why?
I think, yes. I
get it. I just feel like it's a little late to care now, Molly.
Okay, but...
sure, you can commit crimes in the magical community, but I can't?
Well, I mean, yes, there is a certain amount of, do as I say, not as I do. But yes, at the same time, I feel exactly, I'm like, knowing exactly what how big a secret are we, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so good, better, different, but yeah. But it was interesting. I mean, just in case we didn't get it all, they just got to explain it to us. But but you know Elaine. Why did you pretend that you don't know Elaine?
Why are you a lying motherfucker, huh?
Yeah. Every now and then we need to do it.
Not my place to...
It does also reinforce the sticky area that Harry is in as well. That he has to be...
Who does, or do you say this?
This whole, by bringing this up, it reminds the reader that Harry really has to consider...
Harry's got balls in the air, as always. He can't forget. He is back under the doom.
The stakes are high.
The stakes are high.
Basically reiterates the whole thing.
And it's not just him this time. You're fucking up for two people. Like, either one of you does anything, you take the other one down. So, you can't just be like, oh, well, I think it's worse the cause. It's like, no, you are dragging her into it, whether she likes it or not. So...
This is even more to the point about how the council has no fucking idea what's going on. Because, okay, fine. It's not a good excuse, but fine. They can't keep track of all the magical kids out in the world, okay? But, they're not even keeping track of the ones
they know
in their community, right? Justin Dumorn didn't have to register his apprentices anywhere. Nobody checked up to see how many apprentices he had at home. They're just like, whatever, you want some kids in your house? You do it, bro. Not our problem.
I was going to say it is, and without going too far, in a later book, we do get a little bit more of a explanation. I was going to say, more of a in-depth, I know. God, I cannot think of the word I want. But we get some more background detail, existential, whatever, on the laws and why they are or are not as broad. And I get some of that. But yes, in so many of these, it really is.
Yeah, that's the thing. They want their 7 laws to be so...
upheld and
rigid and upheld and known that they're like, we can't possibly have bylaws because then it'll just get murky. People will just stop listening to all the laws if we make too many. So we'll have 7 harsh ones, and if you want to abuse children in the process, that's not important enough to add to the laws.
Yeah, it really is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's for the human court.
For magic.
But it's even...
He taught me black magic, Your Honor.
It's even... He made me a thrall.
Good luck prosecuting that.
It's not really ever said. We don't ever track down documentation or anything, but it's somewhat implied or assumed that Justin Dumoulin straight up adopted them legitimately, like through the government. People, like, he was their adoptive dad.
Yeah.
So, like, all the wardens have to do is, like, basically look up, like, one piece of paperwork, and they're like, oh, it's not really our job.
What is this,
like, who cares?
the freedom of information?
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? Look up every warden all the time? No. He's a warden. He's got to be a good guy.
Obviously, he's just above reproach. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. It is. It really is. Because even, like you say, even in the first one with Harry being under, and he's like, oh, Morgan is popping up all the fucking time to keep tabs on me. Okay, now again, yes, we're in this war situation where they got bigger problems. They've also now literally lost, hundreds of people have been killed.
That's my point. Wardens are not detectives. Morgan wanted to catch Dresden and all these lies and all these things, and it never occurred to him to look up like an adoption certificate or anything.
I was going to say, but Morgan still had this pretty big-ass area as well, and he was like, I don't care so much about this Korean kid killing everybody in his family. I'm just going to camp out on Dresden's doorstep until that little asshole does something, because he pisses me. Like, it really is, you think somehow over, again, if they've had these laws for this many years, that they're slow to, but they've obviously had to adapt somewhat to the modern world as the world continues. You'd think that somehow, yes, they would have better monitoring, tracking, yeah, exactly. And it is very willy-nilly sometimes how where certain people are, boom, caught immediately and prosecuted or executed or whatever, and other people, yes, that eons and eons and eons without any notice, any information, any regulation. It's, really, Butcher, we are just... Can you please just patch up the holes in your fictional world and your fictional government? And
it's not like even plot holes. It's just like, they're shitty people. How dare you?
Yeah, well, it is and it isn't. I mean, it's sort of a plot hole in the sense of... It doesn't, but yes.
Who's designing this government? Some random guy? Some random 25-year-old student at college?
Right.
I did have a little bit of a giggle when I read this line, and I thought of you, Jess. Turns out years later she had survived and was in hiding. She never told you? What a bitch.
Yeah.
Thanks, Molly. You're right. Yeah, she is.
What a bitch. Again, I do like that very sort of 18-year-old be like, ugh, and then I was like, yeah, well, all fairness, I killed our dad and burned down our house. It's okay. Thanks, Molly, but I kind of get,
in retrospect.
There might have been reasons.
So Molly offers to help Harry with him going to the Ordo, but she fails to move enough beads because she still doesn't. She's not at that level yet.
And I totally get the wanting to go, but it's so funny because half an hour, well, maybe longer, I don't know how long you talked to Murphy, but an hour ago or whatever, when she found him passed out in the basement, and she's the one that noticed the hole slagged in his metal construct here, and he's like, yes, you're not quite ready yet, and she's like, oh, fuck, nope, I get it. And then half an hour later, she's like, so can I come this time? It's like, hey, well, you're done playing with that, can I go? It's like...
ADHD for wizards.
ADHD for wizards. And I mean, again, I totally get it. If I wanted to do the cool stuff, I would want to be like, can I come now? Can I come now? Can I come now? Can I come now?
Sorry, Molly, but you're too much of a libertine.
Which is so
myself.
So hypocritical coming from Mary, but you're not wrong. If anybody, flouts authority and...
Thank you to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us do what we do. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, kick-ass merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at patreon.com/freeflowrambling. Chapter 18. Harry goes to the hotel where Elaine and the Ordo are held up at and confronts Hellen Beckitt. Elaine explains to Harry another member was taken and shows him a picture of the man responsible, Thomas.
Such a major spoiler, Tansenn. Oh my
God. Such a major spoiler.
You want me to just cut out the...
What if people hadn't read this chapter yet?
Then why are they listening?
Sometimes they just want to hang out.
Logic. Don't judge our listeners.
They're just having fun.
Don't impose your rules and realities on them.
Don't you ever just read fan fiction for a book or movie you've never seen?
Never.
The fanfiction is good, but then obviously it's worth checking out the
I don't know what you guys are like in canon, but I love you in fandom. It's just so much fun.
right?
So Harry heads to the Amber Inn where Elaine and the Ordo are all held up.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Do you have more spoilers you want to? Okay, if you thought Harry was being a gross, disgusting pig for the first 17 chapters of this book, don't worry, because he's here to tell you what a good guy he is. I don't book hotels on the client's dime. Because I think it's unprofessional. Unprofessional. What did you do to me, Tansenn?
Take two.
The words are coming out of her mouth right. It's just whatever the microphone is doing to them on the way to the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm saying it right, but this mic is weird.
She hexed your pop.
It's been in Tansenn's house too long.
New cable. AI is taking over our podcast. Clearly, it's inferior.
Yes. Again, his wit and humor. He's like, something you don't ordinarily find. A reasonably priced hotel. It wasn't made by somebody with 3 names, and yeah.
It kind of seems like Butcher is sort of using Elaine as this sort of mirror of Harry in some ways, because, well, she keeps doing
Copying everything he does. I mean, in some ways,
and even some of the
sure.
sentiment, like that he points out that
I mean, he says as much.
I think
she's not taking
copying off of my
advantage.
Yeah, I could be. I mean, I think as much of it, too, is it might also be meant to draw that parallel between, that they were raised together and grew up together, so they're going to have sort of similar sensibilities and similar similarities. Mm-hmm. So, again, right, Elaine's just a good old girl, like, even though she's just an orphan. Like,
even though Jess hates her so.
He hates her so, but you know what I mean? Like, again, right, Elaine's not
That's
out
the thing,
there
though. She's not even like a
gouging.
foil. She's just there, being the weaker, shittier version of Harry.
Right, like it is. That's really what it seems like to me. Like, what's the? Do you like?
I'd love
Clearly,
for her
you
to.
don't think that she has a.
I'd love for her to come back and for there to be this big, like, especially, I think, the council finding out that Harry lied about Elaine's existence is going to be a huge point of contention eventually. Just further to the point of why we can't trust you and blah, blah, and repercussions. I would love for that scene to happen and, almost like an ace in the pocket.
But also
aha, there's 2 of me, fuck you!
But also, wouldn't Elaine have to do something terrible? Because, I mean, again, they could be annoyed, but if Elaine is not out there breaking any laws, then...
I guess so, but yeah, this whole time they've had...
Really be like, you lied to us, and now look, you unleashed this black wizard on the world,
We've had this Dresden Dumort
Oh no,
plan.
how dare you! You unleashed this mild-mannered, mediocre wizard.
It sounds like you're more on my team right now, because exactly, like, thus far, there is nothing to say that will ever happen in any capacity that matters. And, which is, again, why does Elaine matter? Why is she here?
Oh no, I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying,
If
you
anything,
want that confrontation, but I was like, for it to be really a confrontation for the council to actually have to be, I'm like, you would think Elaine would have to turn out to be a problem.
Which,
it's like
jury's still
functional.
out.
Does he need a? Harry can't have that much of a workload, so he has to split the workload with a character that's just basically him, part 2.
Well, this is what I mean, though, is that Elaine works as a love interest and a girl and Harry's fucking propensity.
Oh fuck! Now I can't say it. I know what you're trying to say.
Propensity. That word. That
All of us.
Propensity for what? The
chivalry towards women. It's just one more woman that he's in love with and is going to make stupid, crazy mistakes for, and put himself under the Doom of Damocles and kill Justin Dumort and stuff because he was trying to kill Harry, but also he hurt his adopted sister, girlfriend, blah blah blah. Fine, okay, that's something. Just add on more to the women saying. Secondly, to be I even forgot my second point already. That's how much Elaine doesn't matter. To be this sort of, I don't know, would be, could be, if, without the 400-yard deals that Harry makes every book.
Just need more female characters that are not inept.
I don't know. I don't know. Even as, another person on her team, sorry for the spoilers, but she rarely comes back in the books. She's not the alphas who show up basically every book to help with a little bit of manpower. She's not Butters or Michael or Ramirez who can come and do... She very rarely pops up to help Harry save the day in any capacity. So, it's exactly. It's why are you around even at all?
Right. I was just curious to why he would parallel her so much. Curious.
Yeah.
Curious choice. Okay.
You and me are wondering, Tansenn. I hope it pays off one day.
So Harry tries the same exact tactic of walking down the halls like he owns the place because that worked at Thomas's apartment. Tries it again. Okay.
It's okay. This is a reasonably priced hotel. They don't care who comes in.
I don't know why, and I'm trying to think. I think we might have an Amber Inn here somewhere, and that might be part of it. But even though he says it's a hotel, every time no matter how often I've read this book, every time I picture it as like a motel. So it's always got like the outside
yeah.
doors and stuff like that. And it's always like walking down the halls. Like, again, I'm just like, I cannot.
Kind of thought it was like a Holiday Inn kind of a thing, but...
And I think that's maybe probably...
More or less,
I mean,
yeah.
again, it's a reasonably priced idea. Yeah, it's nothing fancy. It's just simple. But yeah, it's just I always... Which I think, I don't know, I somehow feel like that works better because, again, the motel type thing would work with... Again, large men with big dogs wandering your hotel are going to be more noticeable than if everyone's got their own private.
But I've never been to a hotel where anyone ever called me out for not stopping at the reception desk, right? Like,
No.
That's a big risk.
Not that they would necessarily call him out or stop him or anything like that. Just that you'd be more noticeable.
Yeah.
Whereas, again, where I picture that you only ever go to this motel at night. You know, coming and going with the directly to the door and in, as opposed to traipsing through a building and going up an elevator and walking. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of funny just to my
dog doesn't
brain.
like walking outside.
Yeah,
Just do a couple laps in the nearest hotel. Wow. Hello, Helen.
Yeah, so Harry arrives at Elaine's and they do more of this sort of understanding of one another with little communication because, you know, they've known each other so well.
Yeah, despite that, like, you know, it was like 5 years while they were like 16 and now they haven't seen each other in like 15 years. But
all right, I have a small theory of why Elaine is so annoying to you because I think in some ways she's used as a misdirection. Okay, so anytime Elaine sort of shows up is where story-wise it's a big what the fuck sort of moments seem to happen where it's just like, I know at least for me when I'm reading and I'm already like, what the hell is going on? Like, what the fuck is happening to these stories? Elaine's there.
like, oh, some fuckery is afoot.
So associating her with...
Yeah, so it's kind of like I wonder if Butcher like adds her to the story whenever something's sort of like inconsistent or weird, he throws her in the story. And so we sort of attribute all of these...
She's really time-traveling Harry from...
Pavlovi in response to...
She's just also another gender in the whole bit, so... I
just noticed every time she shows up, it's always just like the what? So I think it's a little bit of a character that's a bit of a throwaway character that like take care of these what the fuck moments.
Maybe Jim Butcher's doing it on purpose, subconsciously making us distrust her because...
And my last note on there is, or it's time travel.
Sorry, that sounds like Mom's theory.
Yeah, that's why Harry didn't catch on for so long, because he wasn't thinking about, you know, like the female version of himself popping up and screwing up things.
The hustler. Yeah.
That's my theory.
He definitely didn't have strong feelings about Elaine until Jessica expressed them. But that
makes sense though, because she's such a nothing character. Like, people shouldn't have strong feelings about her. It's like if she's not in the room, you shouldn't think about her ever. I get that.
But yeah,
I've tended my garden of hate so well that
that I'm like making notes in
every little sprout that possibly can.
Why does Jess hate Elaine so much?
Because it does. I have to admit, like, it was a good moment, but it also cheapened it slightly for me bringing her back. And again, it's a delicate thing, right? It happens in lots of shows, books, media, whatever, right? That sometimes it's like so obvious, sometimes it's not sometimes it's well done, sometimes it's not. So I have to be, on the one hand, I'm like, of course, she's going to, you know, because you make such a big deal about her being dead and gone, but it also does kind of cheapen it somehow. In a way, like, I don't know if I'm fully satisfied with... Not that it was a bad way, because, I mean, when you think about it, it makes it fine. She got away, and then she went into hiding, and then but I don't know if the payoff...
I think who she is what cheapens it. If she was cooler in any way, it'd be like, oh my god, she's back, she's this thing, person, whatever. And
maybe, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Susan came back as this bigger, cooler badass when she got...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the advantages of bringing her back to this particular storyline is that she can eventually vouch for Harry being a trustworthy individual, although not that she does it right away, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know.
Because
Again,
otherwise, Harry just stays scary.
Yeah.
yeah, bringing her in to endear her to the rest of the Order is like, okay, nice, but I
So she
don't think it's necessary.
Girl,
He could have,
but-
you know,
Well, that's the thing.
it could have been another Kim Delaney, like, oh yeah, I've just helped Ash before. Or Lydia could have been a part of this group, and Lydia could have vouched for him, or, you know.
Yeah. Well, it is, like, because some of the things that they, like you say, these little moments of being able, right, on the one sense, I think you're supposed to get to, like, oh, it's so sweet, and their first love, and they know, but at the same time, part of me is just like, again, this is as we grow up and get more, you know, it's like fucking kids, like, you know, and I think if I suddenly, you know, my 13-year-old crush popped back up on my doorstep, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, we've got nothing in common.
Yeah, I mean, they went through something traumatic together. They were adopted. They lived several years, but again, and even their spells that they have with each other, the mind reading thing, that was cool. That's really cool. Maybe that can only be established with somebody that you spent so much time in your youth and loving for whatever. But still, I don't know. It's not enough to offset.
It is. It's just, that's what I mean. It's like, it's tough sometimes. I'm like, I think I'm supposed to like these things, but I don't really. Some of them I just find it's kind of strange or weird or, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there is a certain amount of, like you say, just nostalgia and whatever.
Even in the next chapter or two, when they're kind of fighting side by side, it's like, yeah, it's cool, but again, it didn't have to be Elaine.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool when he works side by side with Murphy, you know? It's cool when he fights side by side with...
But I guess, so I was just was being like, I guess if I try and take myself out of that and exactly some, like, really nostalgic old childhood friend that I haven't seen, even if our lives have become wildly divergent, you know, I'm like, I guess I can try and encompass, I guess I can appreciate a certain amount of that, of just really, you know, just that moment of closeness you had when things were so simple and what you did go through and trying to keep in that bubble. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really work if you, like, expand it out into, but I'm like, I don't know, I guess there's some of that too, where Harry, just a simpler, more innocent time before I knew I was being groomed by a dark warlord, you know?
And even just having, like, I don't know, Jim Butcher doing thing, like, oh, I need more female wizards that are capable, because it's like, well, Molly's powerful.
Yeah.
She's just not trained yet. But Molly's a powerful, so even that aspect in a lot of ways, I'm like, you could have just, you know, bolstered Molly a little more and kept Elaine far away or non-existent, but...
Or just brought in some other, you know, Martha Liberty off the council to, like, mentor her a little bit as, like,
who
womanly
knows,
female
like, so
power.
many things.
Like, there could have been
Which is even farther because... Spoilers, when another fucking powerful female wizard shows up, it's like, so we still don't need Elaine.
It's like, Harry, you just need more women friends on the council.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You can barely get any guy friends on the council. But
Can't talk to other wizards, can't talk to women, can't talk to wizard women.
right.
So Harry outright asks Hellen Beckitt what she knows and asks if the Ordo knows how they know each other, which they don't.
And she takes it pretty well. Like, again, Anna's been brought into this, but like, again, right when she answers the door, she figures out that Harry suspects someone there. And he's like, Beckett, and she's like, yeah, all right, come on in, interrogators. You know, I'm like, she's like so protective over the rest of, like, Anna and all this kind of stuff. And then for like a minute there, she's just like, all right, well, Harry says you're fucked.
As we quickly find out, though, they've lost another one of their ranks in the last several hours. So I think, if it's getting this down to the wire where it's like she actually was almost murdered several hours ago, and then now one of the other ones is missing. It's like, okay, what the fuck is going on? If it's her, fucking let's deal with this now. At this point, yeah. I'm paying for detective. Nothing's happening. This other detective wants to work pro bono. And is doing a better job.
My case, I guess. Yeah.
First of all, Elaine, I want a refund. Second of all, you're off the case. Go home. Go back to LA. I don't give a fuck. Harry.
I'm going to throw you to the wolves and then be like, but she's one of us. But yeah.
And then this whole Hellen, so, again, don't know if anyone knows, I got very confused about Hellen Beckitt and Madge, Trixie, and who everyone was, okay? It's been a long time
Too
since
late
I
for
read
recreation
Storefront,
now.
okay?
None of those other ones are here. Madge, Trisha,
I know, I'm saying I was confused about who Hellen Beckitt was. I was confusing her with those women and stuff like that.
Right.
Gotcha.
So, again, just to
confused me with your
recap,
confusion.
okay? She was working with Victor Sells, a.k.a.
Way back. Yeah, she was part of the naked orgies out at the lake house.
Yeah.
That.
So many naked orgies for this woman.
Yes. And then
if you're going to be bad, you may as well have fun.
While they were naked and no longer orgying, yes, they shot at Dresden. And that's what we got.
In between all the orgies, they found time to try and kill Dresden.
They were running away from.
all of the images.
All at once.
Oh, God.
So Harry is
Yes,
here to
that's who
accuse her.
Helen is.
He's here to accuse her of being back on the
beat. Back on the orgy scene. Yes, so she's dabbling in things again, and she's helping to do bad
dip your toes once, dip your toes twice. And Helen says here, she's like, I had my reasons for why I did that in the first place. Which is still kind of like, oh, damn, you weren't just like caught up in Victor Sell's
I didn't want to just become a big drug lord. Yeah, there was...
She's like, me and my husband were working towards something. And you feel a little bit sad that the husband's dead too now, because it's like, oh shit. Because they obviously didn't see each other in prison. So the last time they saw each other was basically that night of the orgy.
Running away. Last time I saw my husband was when we were shooting at you, and you're still here and he's not. But yeah, exactly. I like the way she handled it, because yeah, she's kind of one of those love to hate. Like there's nothing really about Helen, especially when we first meet her. So we meet them as these just cold professionals, and then next thing they're shooting Harry. And again, all we known about them is that they assisted Victor Sells in his wacky, highly addictive, highly volatile drug. And then now she's back. So, and again, she's not a terribly, like, sympathetic character or anything like that. She's still kind of cold. She's still kind of...
And supposedly had a pretty quiet time in jail, too, right? Just kind of, like, served her years and...
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, nothing has come up. She wasn't making any trouble. But it's just, it's interesting because, like, I kind of like the way she handles this. You know, so I'm like, she still doesn't really do anything to win your sympathy, to gain, you know, but she's kind of like, it doesn't matter. I can tell you I did it, and you'll think I did. I can tell you I didn't, and you'll think I did. So I'm just not going to tell you either one and give you the satisfaction.
I would dream of cheating you of the satisfaction of looking down one less righteous than yourself.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like,
a great line.
It is, and I'm like, you know what? There is a certain amount to that when I stop and think about it. Because again, in real life, you can be like, you make up all the arguments for like, well, if they say this is why. If they say that, this is why. But if they don't, again, if you don't get a chance to vet either one of those arguments, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, you can't say them both, and you can't say, yeah, it's just kind of that, again, she's, exactly, you're going to think what you think. Nothing I say is going to change that, really, so I'm just not even going to give you anything.
She really treats him like the warden he is.
Yeah, and it really, like, again, it does just kind of, yeah, you've nothing to work with. There's nothing to work with. You can't go on it. You can't lay out your whole...
And it works. I mean, Harry immediately is like, oh shit, maybe she's not it. He like folds immediately.
Crap, not the one.
He's like, nobody could fake it that well, which...
Okay. Well, I don't know, that one single tear, and which I love that in books. I mean, yes, to a certain degree, I get. And you have to have that as an author trying to relay to your readers. And you have to have, again, that trustworthy character that we have to... You know, basically, if it's if Harry likes him, we like him. If Harry doesn't like him, we don't like him. That's basically. But at the same time, it's like, literally, have you heard of actors? Have you seen these things that they get paid tiny, crappy amounts of money and huge billion-dollar amounts of money to have that one single tear roll down their cheek? And I'm like, sure, yeah, I get it. It's different if you got, you know...
In fact, the only way any of us have ever seen an example of it is from all of those actors doing it on stage.
It's all, and I get when you're talking about, like, pre-filmed stuff, sure, you can go over and over, you can do different ways. It's different from, like, a live-action theater version where they have to do that, and, you know, they're not just, like, poking themselves.
Wait, let me do it again.
Yeah, right. They're not squeaking, you know, but yeah, it's just so funny. Like, it's come up, and obviously as it does, but lots of like reading material. Like, it was so convincing they would have had to be a damn good actor. I'm like, I get you're right. The average Joe isn't.
And
however, if you want to be a criminal mastermind, I figure maybe this is exactly. Being able to spin a lie is probably your. But yeah, it's just funny. I'm like, there's no way they could lie about that. There's no way that could be. Like, even sudden reactions I get, because you're right, that is a more genuine, instinctive, involuntary kind of. But yeah, something like that. I'm like, but yes, it does it for everybody else. Not only does Harry be like, oh, okay, maybe. But yeah, everybody else is like, until, like, you might be right, she might be right, but we haven't seen any of that. So until we see evidence of this negative shit, we're going to stand beside you, and she's one of us, and you don't. It's all like, oh.
That I do like.
And it is kind of a nice, because again, I'm like, they don't, and it does put Harry in that spot. She's like, oh, well, do they know what you did? And she's like, what? Yeah, go ahead, blow up my life, Dresden.
Yeah.
Tell all these new friends that, you know, this new sort of circle I'm trying to make myself outside of prison and away from all that. Because again, I'm like, there's nothing wrong. This order is not dabbling in anything they should. It's literally just a little support group.
I think that's why the order stands with her, because it's like, as far as we've seen, she's helping us build wards for everybody, and she's joining us on all these our extracurricular activities, whatever that is.
Yeah, he's still kind of going to be like, well, did you know she's a convicted felon for, and I mean,
it's so easy to become a felon, though, actually. I mean, yeah, she did try to kill Dresden, but it's so easy to become a felon, honestly.
Oh, so many.
You just, kick one cop, and, that's it.
No, that's only, a misdemeanor.
No, I think if you kick a cop, it's, felony.
Or maybe if you kick, I don't know. Again, I was watching, NCIS, and they...
The standard of truth.
The standard of truth. The most recent is what. Just the most recent thing you guys watch.
To be fair, if I had to start ranking them, NCIS has some pretty fucking wild plots, but still.
It does, but some solid. But anyway, it's funny because he's got him in the interrogation room and he's impersonating a petty officer. He's like, that's a felony. Whatever. I don't even remember what the second thing was. Reporting for work every day is this felony. And then he's resisting arrest. He's like, that's just a misdemeanor. So I was like, I don't know, you'd almost think it would, but I'm not gay, I guess, compared to something. But yes, I don't know, if you actually assaulted, yes, I'm sure if you actually maybe kicked a cop, that might be more felony than misdemeanor. But again, I just feel like there's that difference between sort of a petty, I kicked you in the shins and actually punching or kicking too.
I Googled the most accurate cop shows, and none of them are popular.
Yeah, I was going to say. I still love, one of my most favorite Buffy lines is in season 4 or whatever, and they've got Riley there, and they're just hanging out in Xander's basement watching a movie. And I think, she's complaining about obviously watching some horror show kind of a thing or something like that. And Riley's like, Buffy, chill, it's like a movie. And she's like, I'm sorry, but she's like, if we were watching an army show and the soldiers were all running around all willy-nilly, you wouldn't you'd have something to say about it. And just true. It's I love how it's become such a popular thing now to make fun of that. So it's every time you were watching a cop show and they're like, well, that's how they do it on the movies, but this is real life. And every time you're reading a book, you're like, well, that may be how they do it in the movies, but this is real life. And this, and it's just
mad at ourselves.
Yeah, it's just so funny. I was like, really? Because it still seems pretty fucking far-fetched to me. How come nothing happens like it does in the movies? But yeah. Anyways. So yes, we have this very nice, very interesting, very just as he was just as convinced it was her husband. He's like, all right, let's back down to hell. And she's like, I didn't do anything, and you're just being mean.
Harry kind of folds so easily. He just kind of
folds so easily. But again, Harry's not all about beating down the women and all that kind of stuff. And yes, if she was legitimately stand-up bad guy, obviously, but. Yes, she gives him that moment to question, and then everybody else rallies, and he's like, okay, no, read the room. This is not the time to. I think he still kind of gives a little kick when she's down, and it just makes him feel
When you're a private detective, when you're a wizard, when you've been in the business as long as Harry's been, when you have been up against as many things as Harry's been at, and you have the option of soul-gazing someone, and then somebody instead lets down one single tear. Obviously you're going to buy that, right? Obviously.
Obviously. Because you can't fake that. Exactly. You'd have to be the best actor in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you were, you'd obviously be in Hollywood.
Because that would cinch it for me.
You wouldn't be slumming it in Chicago with the...
Case closed, go home, have a good
Order of the Big Cooking Pot, so...
That's why you're broke, Harry. Your husband did it. He was murdered 5 years ago. Oh,
damn it, okay. You did it. How could you say that? Okay, never mind, I take it back. I'm so sorry.
I'm out of theories.
Yeah. Well, Elaine, back to the drawing board.
Who else has walked away from me? I've killed everyone. What did you say?
While I remove this foot from my mouth.
If only I had a murder board in my apartment.
So then we get persnickety little Priscilla. So she starts getting snarky with him. He starts getting snarky back. And Elaine is like, Harry, don't be mean to my clients. Just play nice, everybody.
Remember you wanted to kill one of them 5 minutes ago? That was fine, but she just has attitude.
Yeah. And then whatever, so they go, and then they get to the end where, again, they are start to leave me. She starts getting snippy again, and then Elaine's like, don't fucking talk to him. I'm like, okay, 5 minutes ago, you're like, okay, that's fine, you can talk to him. I'm like, I appreciate
She just wants everyone to be friendly. She's mad at both sides. Both of you just play nice.
But I'm surprised, she could have said some of that even a little bit more nicer in the first one. She could have been like, hey, you know what? He's helping us out, you don't. But yeah, it's at first she totally comes to her and like, Harry, you can't say that to her. What
a great Elaine voice.
And then Harry. And then in the next second, she's like, okay, bitch, that was your third and final strike. It's you didn't tell me I was on there.
That's my boyfriend, you bitch.
I'm like, you're not wrong. Exactly. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. At least, be professional and civil. But it's just so funny that it's just such a quick.
It is very
that where she's just like, Harry, don't antagonize her. And then she's like, what did you say? Yeah.
But also, doesn't she do it in his head, like using the little psychic mind meld thing? Like, so,
Oh, maybe that's where she...
So she doesn't, like, even, like...
Is that where she chastises first?
It's like she's like, stop. And then just, like, come down like a ton of bricks on her. And it's like... So the Ordo doesn't see her flip back and forth.
Have a question about protection.
Well, the fact that you exist, I am not the person to ask.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Tansenn. For example, let's say you have a demon in your brain, and I
your prefrontal cortex?
come and start talking to you in your brain. Does Lash get any sort of mental connection now to me? Because I'm 100% certain that she was at least able to hear that conversation.
I don't know. Harry keeps saying he's got her locked down pretty good.
Yeah, he says that, and then he's always waking up in a hot tub.
Yeah, I don't know. So I guess that would depend.
And I play like Santana.
When you pull your thoughts back, do you siphon a little bit of demon? That is very interesting.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
like,
she has
is
her own reign,
is it like
too.
an STI?
Because she was able to recall back without being asked to observe things in the original scene. She actually brings it up, like Lash does.
Sorry, which? What?
Lash.
Yeah, she has an eidetic memory almost.
She recalls that there's somebody in the room for him.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
and she wasn't outright asked to be present or let go.
Yes,
so
you're right.
she
I was gonna say, for much as she's locked down, Harry
she's not that locked down.
So I'm like, that's what I'm wondering though, is like, could Lash have used that as some sort of bridge to now make another secondary shadow in Elaine's mind?
A shadow of a shadow of a
She
shadow.
just never shows up again because she falls.
I mean, yeah, she wouldn't have the
she
coin
jump
that she'd be
coats.
able to pick up, but obviously Harry does enough damage without that too. Or maybe she does go back for the coin. Harry wouldn't know. Harry doesn't dig it up to find out, right?
Or maybe you actually have to touch the coin itself to be.
That's what I'm saying. It's
influence.
like, I understand that's how it got Harry. He had to actually touch the coin, but I'm just wondering if this
But I was
mental
going to say, if
to
she
mental
becomes
projection.
this much of a mental entity, could she then again with...
Because she's a shadow, like maybe
That's what I'm
she
saying. That's
just
what I'm wondering.
loses
Does it
enough
work like an
potency
STI?
She can't.
Yeah,
She jumped into Harry's brain like a fool. And now she comes away affected, affected.
with all her other 2,000, which, okay, granted, 2,000 years is a long time. I still feel like if I live for 2,000 years, there's things I'm not going to learn because just why the fuck? I don't care. But in any supernatural entity, apparently, if you live that long, you get good at everything.
But does that?
But I'm
sorry.
just gonna say, is this because you're like, he would never know? It's like, again, Lash is just like, we can dig up the cone. I am a professional concrete fabricator. Okay? He will never be able to tell that we can dig it up and replaster it in like a day. Anyway,
I do think the difference of the supernatural learning is that, it's they're not fighting against, necessarily hunger and sleep and boredom. It's a little easier for them to lock in, we're not meeting vampires with ADHD, okay? They want to learn how to be an excavator. They're like, sure, I just did it. Who cares?
I was going to say, it's partly that thing of exactly, in 2,000 years, I'm going to pick up a lot more about cars than because exactly, you're just... whatever smidgen I have picked
I drove
up.
the very first one.
Yeah, right, et cetera, et cetera. There are things like that where, yes, just for exposure to it, you are going to learn. And again, if you're that bored and you've learned about all the shit you're interested in, then we might start learning about the shit you're not interested in.
And also those one-to-one skills, the joke that Snoop Dogg is really, really good about making sushi because he's got all those transferable skills from rolling blunts his whole life, There are certain things that I have become very good at by accident through process of being very good at a similar skill.
Yes.
That, I didn't know that I was good at it, and now I'm just like, it comes up very rarely in my life, but I realize, oh shit, I do this every day at work, this very similar task now that I've done at home for the first time ever. I did in like a second, not realizing I picked up this extra skill,
Yeah.
I did not notice that playing D&D so often was making me be able to read dice at a glance until I played a board game last weekend where I was literally reading the dice like 10 times faster than everyone else. It was just, I just saw the dots and immediately was like, 17, 4, 12.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was picking up that skill.
Exactly, yeah.
You don't need to learn how to drive a car if you've been driving 4,000 other automobiles and chariots and all this other bullshit before that, or who knows what else.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like, no, for sure.
Does that mean that Snake Boy, when he lost his coin, has the shadow of his fallen?
So this
as well,
is
like
okay.
anyone who's had a coin and touched a coin has a shadow.
Yes and no. To the point, I'm going to say almost no. It doesn't work in the reverse. The shadow is potentially just a Lash thing, as she's temptation. But also, I think they all have that as a way of just tempting them to pick up the coin. But it's not really needed because most of them don't put the coin down again. You know, for the most part, once you pick up the coin, like you're like immediately tapped into power. You're like, why would I ever put this down in the first place?
Not a bad explanation. I like your little twist about it being more specific to her because she's temptation. My answer was going to be no, because at some point early on when she's trying to, she's like, pick up the coin and I can rejoin the whole of myself and give you all of my power.
Okay.
So I think if you give up the coin, right,
You lose it all.
You lose all of it. Okay.
Yeah, you're giving all of it. So yes, I think in this case that yes, she got that shadow.
So in that case, that portion of Lash probably doesn't want to split herself further to infect Elaine.
That's fair enough. I will take that.
That's
as
fair
an
enough. That
explanation,
for
if she is
as
already
powerful as she seems to be, she also is just a
Still
shadow of, and yes,
Didn't work for Voldemort.
I was literally just like Horus Cruxes, right? You just how much is she going to splinter
Well, I was
herself?
gonna say, to be fair, yeah, as herself, she can more take over Harry's entire body. As it is now, she can trick him and deceive him, but she's not fully in charge of him, you know?
Yeah.
She can only manipulate him so much. He's still, you know,
I was
within
going to
those
say,
bounds of the
she's
manipulation.
got tons of knowledge and everything that she can impart to him, but he still kind of has to be the one to execute. But
Yeah, but even further still, if there was some sort of shadowy play at hand, I would say that the whole point of the Knights, as long as they're involved in the
extraction?
exorcism, that the whole point would be to then also remove the shadow, you know? It wouldn't really work out if you're just like, everyone's running around with still a shadow in their brain being like, let's go find a coin, let's go find a coin, let's go find a coin.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I think that is a certain amount of the, you know, free will and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, yeah, Harry's in a kind of tricky place because he has sort of infected himself. And obviously he can't just be like, out damn spot. But you know what I mean? It's
I think
like
he could, he doesn't want to.
But that is...
But yes.
That is right. Like, yeah, I mean, kind of at first he wasn't thrilled. You think immediately he could have, like, once he discovered that was the thing, he could be like, whoa, get the fuck out. But obviously,
you know, I think, you know, every day I would be imagining, you know, the, you know, Princess Bride scene where we both drink the poison and I'm just going to slowly kill Lash off little by little. And you will leave me eventually. And Harry's just like, roommates.
Yeah.
Don't kill me in the... It's like,
good night, sleep
Dread
well,
pilot.
like to kill you in the morning.
It's actually all Princess Bride.
Yeah, it's also Princess Bride, but...
Oh, Princess Bride.
But yes, that is why I don't think I mean, again, there's very few. Again, over 2,000 years, that might be a relative number. But yes, it's not as often, it seems, that people do want to willingly relinquish the coins. But yes, I think once they do, that is why there's not shadows left on. But it does... You know what? I was going to say, it makes an interesting point, because what happens, like, say the three of us stumble across the thing, and one or other of us pick it up, and the other one's like, hey, what's that? And, right, so, you know, me, Tansenn, and Jess have all touched the coin, but Jess is the one who figures out first and, like, takes the demon. Exactly. Theoretically, it could have, if you, neither me or Tansenn, like, bonded with the demon, it could. But then again, is it also a case of, you know what, I don't need to, because my only point is to bond with someone. So as soon as it bonds with her, it could just snap that shadow version. Like, it's like, I don't need to, I've got a thing to...
I was going to say, if we all were to touch it, it would just choose which one it wanted. But I guess it's probably more like it does leave an imprint on all three. And whichever one it convinces to take it up first is the one that is like, all right,
and then just
fuck
like,
the rest of you, I don't really care.
Yeah. And then it'll just be like, okay, I don't need to
really
be whispering in your ear anymore. I'm just going to take that.
It would be more interesting if it was like, you know, Horcruxes in a way where it was split, and then like all three are just like, go steal from her. We should be prime. We should be prime.
Yeah, all right.
Go kill that one so
but
it can
like,
be us.
right, like things like, you know, say if Molly suddenly decides to wonder why he's got a concrete circle and like digs up and picks up the coin, does that mean a guy Lashley will be like, hey, Harry, it's been fun, but I got full control over Molly, so bye-bye.
In that case, I would say probably yes, because as much as I think she's having fun with...
She could self-exercise her, and she's like, I'm just going to rejoin my core self.
As fun as she's having with Harry, if she had to choose anyone, Harry's pretty fun. But obviously, just anyone
she's not getting anywhere.
Anyone willing to use the coin in any capacity. I mean, she would have fucking figured it out as a fucking 1-year-old baby and waited it out until he was on feet if she had to.
What do I care about waiting like 15, 20 years?
Exactly.
I'm like, dude, I'm going to chill out for a while. And
right?
Then...
Probably not even. Like, what? 5, you've got motor skills and are walking and talking, like...
I guess, but it's probably harder to, like, go around secretly murdering people and getting away with it at 5.
I don't know, you're probably not being accused as often.
This is true, but again, you can't even drive the getaway and be like, there's, pros and cons to both situations. I won't be suspected, but it's hard for me to... Will you sell me a semi-automatic? Yeah.
But I think at that point, once the real Lashiel demon form, true realized potential... can then snap itself back. Lash in Harry's brain might not make the conscious effort, but Lash yell as a demon might say, hey, come back to me. I want all of myself back.
I don't need you there now. Exactly, right.
You had a nice vacation. Let's fucking go to work.
It would have been great if I could have turned you, but you know what? I will take this. Yeah.
This is a real actual body I've got now. Who gives a fuck about all that nonsense?
So Elaine talks to Harry in his head. And now may or may not be infected by Lash.
He finally does notice that Olivia is missing.
I get it, but again, to me, it was like the broader comment because he's getting on them and Elaine, I was supposed to say, Elaine is like, Harry, they're hurting. And I'm like, well, yeah, they've been losing people left, right, and center. Anna's place just got blown up today. And then it's like, no, look, there's like one more person missing again. I was like,
I'm annoyed also.
It seemed like a fair comment to stand on its own. And then you're like, oh, no, wait, there's a further tragedy.
But fucking Lash has got to be sitting in there too, going like, what the we just talk about invisible people. And you walk into a room and someone's missing and you're like, la, 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 la.
She's like, I wanted to make that point later. Damn it. Guess what you noticed?
Could have brought it up again, but then Elaine did it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Elaine goes on to explain that a pale, dark-haired man took her from the building and manages to show a picture that she got from security.
Yeah. Thankfully, she's got lots of cameras around her building.
These security guards are helpful.
We land on
Whether
that
they won or not.
bomb that it was Thomas.
What?
Thomas?
What? But he can't be. There are other good.
But he's being held captive by the... That pokes holes in all of my theories. Square one.
Oh, sure. Harry can be impersonated, but not Thomas.
Right. God damn it. The camera never lies.
This concludes our episode 18.9, Room Unread. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.